The second leg of what we did oppose on the Citizens' Assembly tonight was on the judiciary and the burden of the expectations from the citizens.
Well, it's commonplace to say that it is the last hope of the common man. It is the temple of justice. It is the hallowed walls of receiving, judgment. The court is the judge, and the judge is the court. First of all, how we lawyers respect the judge is how outsiders, those who are not attorneys, will respect the judge. If you come to my village, and I'm from Ibiono, if you come there and the paramount ruler or the Ogbomobio comes out and everybody kneels down to greet him, invariably you kneel down to greet him. But if everybody stands up to hail him, hey, what's up? Invariably you're going to tell him, hey, what's up? So how we treat the court, and when I say court here, I'm talking of the judge, how we as attorneys treat the court, the level of deference we give to the court is going to determine how the society defers to the court. Here is the thing. The court has great discretion to act. The court is very powerful, okay? There are checks and balances. One is the abuse of that discretion. But in exercising that discretion, an attorney must show great deference to the orders of the court. Very well is generally how attorneys respond. So when a court makes an order or takes a decision, your response is very well. If you disagree with that response, that's okay. You appeal that particular order, or you go on appeal for the judgment. It is not commonplace to have a banter with a judge or an exchange of words with a judge. That's number one. Number two is that attorneys, we lawyers, must refrain from criticizing the court, most significantly on an issue that is still pending before the court. Because when we criticize the court, guess who joins in? It's like insulting your father. When you insult your father, the neighborhood street kids will also join in, and the integrity of your father will then be put in question and disrepute. What will happen is that members of the public will also begin to point fingers at the court, meaning the court is the judge and the judge is the court. When that happens, the authority of the court is diminished. The court is now weakened. When the court is weakened, what happens naturally is that people are reluctant to take matters to the court for adjudication. When people refuse to take matters to the court for adjudication because they believe that they will not receive justice in the court, they resort to the illegal form of self-help. And if we go around with self-help, I believe that Comrade talked about Matawale and some other people say that we should have guns to defend ourselves. Where there is a propensity for people to respond with self-help, that society, the very fabric of the society, breaks down. I'll give an example with that issue of having guns. We have about 300 million people in the United States. We have even more than 300 million guns in the hands of people in the United States. It has not solved a gun problem. Just this year alone, just this year, over 36,000 people were either shot and killed or injured by gun violence, and that was at the end of June, just 6 months into the year. That's a great number of people. In almost every weekend, we hear of mass shooting. That's not what we want. What we actually want is what obtains with every government in the whole wide world, and what should obtain in Nigeria. That is that the government should have the dominion of force. It should have the monopoly of force. It should be able to forcefully put down insurrections, put down opposition in a manner that brings about peace. In that same way, I tie to the court. Once the court has made a decision, you must, as an attorney, abide by the decision of the court. As an attorney, the case that you are representing your client on, you must not insert yourself into that case. In fact, there are times that we are with clients who are actually inflamed by the decision of the court. Now, as an attorney, you tell the client alternatives. Hey, we are going to go on appeal. Oh, don't worry. The next decision might be in our favor because I see the judge is beginning to understand our case. Don't worry, I'll do a better job. And when you go understand, please make sure you remember exactly what we talked about in terms of being truthful and accurate and short and straight to the point in your testimony. But when you begin to speak in a manner that is inflammatory, and I'm not referring to what transpired because unfortunately we don't have any recording. When you speak in a manner that is inflammatory, you inflame your client, you inflame members of the public, and guess what happens? You inflame the court as well. But in this instance, I think there is something that is good that should come out of this. And that one thing is, I've always advocated that Akwa Ibom State, in every court in Akwa Ibom State, whether it is sitting in Itu or Ibiana or Ikoibani or Run or Iket, wherever that court is, it must have both audio and video recordings. The fact that we don't have that is a major problem, and it brings us back, it holds us back from advancing and moving forward in terms of our judicial process. That should be what we take away from this.
All right. We'll take this call as we wind